Good morning, afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. This is Coach Lee, and we're working on speech anxiety in all its gross forms. And we're talking with IBROSS. Say hello, IBROSS.
Hello.
And IBROSS is from London, and he works in the IT world. And he started stuttering at age 5. When I met him, he was doing, which wasn't that long ago, was this year, late February, early March, and he was stuttering 90% of his conversations with up to 80% blocks. And he just decided he'd read my book and he listened to it. We talked a bit, and he decided he'd had enough of this nonsense. And suddenly he started talking. And he'd had therapies from ages 7 to 10 that didn't help. But he's been to Speech Anxiety Anonymous, he joined WSSA, he's read my books, and we've done some coaching here. And he's done a lot of different things. He's sung, he's whispered, he's thought all words as one. And we drilled these things. And we worked on speaking in short increments, on pronunciation, on linking, on stops. And he told me in June that he was 70% improvement since the beginning. And we worked on, then after that, we worked on speaking over the top. That is really talking like you mean it and being really enthusiastic in a positive way. And really, he embraced that like there was no tomorrow. And he just snuffed out stuttering. He just shut it down hard. And it was very impressive because at SAM he was talking in front of dozens of people. And he's, sounded, A-okay, like no problem. So we kept working on short linking and stopping, and he told me on June 26th that he felt like he was already at third base, which is loving to speak, and that's huge, And so then on the July 4th, we talked again, and his speech plan would kind of evolved into passion, mean it, and passion and mean it. And as I've said in a number of Skype sessions, SAM's meetings, anyone who can embrace passion and think about speaking like they mean it, anyone who can do that is not going to stutter. They're going to blow stuttering away. They're overwhelm it. They run over it like a tractor trailer, just wham, flatten it. And that's what I do. Under pressure, I concentrate on being more passionate. And that makes me a better speaker. So people say, oh, you're the best speaker I ever heard. Well, I just love to do it. So it's no surprise that it sounds pretty good. And that's what IBROSS has been doing. And he's been making leaps and bounds of improvement that are shocking everyone except him, I think. And so the last bad incident that he mentioned on July 4th was a couple of months ago, and he said the closest thing was introducing himself to 30 people. And that's scary for people who never stuttered, much less a stutterer. But hey, whether it's 30, 300, or 3,000, or 3 million, IBROSS and I are going to say, bring them on. Mm-hmm. We don't care. The numbers don't matter. We're going to get up and introduce ourselves and anybody around and have a wonderful time. We seek pressured speech. We love it. On July 17th, he told me his last bad incident was 6 weeks ago. He said he'd had some choppy speech. That's okay, everybody does. Slow down when you're choppy. Speak in shorter increments. Lengthen your stops. You'll be fine. We drilled a bit of whispering and talking in a soft voice because that's another method that helps a lot of people because they think there's less of a spotlight on them when they talk in a soft voice. So there's less criticism of them. That's likely when they're in a, that's the mind thinks that. Fine. So soft voice is a good way to do it. Keeping it short, slowing down. Slow makes it easier. So we basically evolved 3 ways of saying it like you mean it. We whispered. We talked in short increments. And we spoke slowly. So his 4th speech plan became passion slow. Then his 5th became pronunciation slow, short. And he did it when we talked on July 17th very well to me. He was reading aloud an hour daily, which is great. I asked him to have his wife translate the short course into Arabic, and she probably threatened to divorce him. What do you think our chances are? We send her some chocolates or something? I mean, what could we do to get her going on that? What do you think?
I'd have to buy her something expensive probably to Russia.
But isn't she thrilled with your speech, IBROSS?
Over the moon. She's extremely happy for me. She's very happy for me.
So this is good for her. It's good for you. It's good for any children that you ever have.
Yes.
It's good for your family. It's good for your friends. It's good for your workmates. It's good for everybody. I think you could say, sweetheart, we owe the other stutterers this translation. You don't owe me. You owe the other, all the people like you that we're going to help. Don't you think that's worth something?
Of course.
So I think you should say, now, honey, it's only 86 pages. You can do it. I know you can. There are probably some kind of translation tools online as well. She could probably do that and then clean it up and go in and clean up the mess that it makes. What do you think?
Of course, yes. Yep.
Okay. Oh, we'll ask her. All right, now. So, all right, now let's get down to where you are today. When can you remember when you last humiliated yourself with stuttering?
I'd say the last time I actually humiliated myself, I genuinely cannot remember. Yeah, I genuinely cannot remember.
That's great. How often, if at all, do you plan your words before you say them?
I would say it happens from time to time, and it's a habit I really have to get rid of. And what's helped me the most is every time I read now, I try to read more slowly, and then after that, I try to have conversations with my friends and my family, and I speak slowly to them. And speaking slowly and combining that with extreme pronunciation has really helped me. So I hate to put myself in a habit of speaking more slowly, exactly like this.
And fluency really, IBROSS, fluency really is talking without thinking words. It's thinking thoughts. I'm hungry, I'm tired, can I help you? What's the way to the station? Whatever. Those are thoughts.
Mm.
They're not words. Your brain picks the words. You don't have to. You never did, and you don't have to now. And learning the language of fluency is speaking without allowing any time to think words. Reject thinking words and simply think what's the message you've got, and then back to how can I say it like I really mean it, and that when you introduce emotion, it brings naturally gesticulations with your hands, it brings natural body movements, it brings smiles, it may bring tears, unfortunately, sometimes, but thinking like you say it like you mean it, and you don't, there is no plan. I'm not planning anything I'm saying to you. Now, so far today, have you planned any words you've said to me?
No, I
I
haven't.
didn't think you had. I didn't think you had. And IBROSS, that's what fluency is. That's all it is. When you do that, what you're doing is you're allowing your brain to carry the ball, which is perfectly capable of doing if you'll let it. All you got to do is get out of the way. Your brain is fine. When you put handcuffs on it, it's got a problem. So we got to take the handcuffs off. So, okay, so that's second base, and we need to work on that, and I'm fishing around here, trying to find something on my computer. So, I think IBROSS, I think you haven't posted a Stop Stuttering story yet, have you?
I
But I
haven't.
think you should. I think you should because, making progress is dependent upon your willingness to accept where you are.
Mhm.
And you're not where you were when we met.
100%.
You're a different person. And most of the people who meet you now in our organization have no idea that you ever were a stutterer, unless you tell them. They have no way of knowing you ever stuttered. I mean, that's where you are. So I think it's time. I think it's time that you want to write something and send it to me and I'll tweak it, or do you want me to write something and send it to you and you revise it?
I'll write it and I'll email it to you. And yeah.
Okay. And look, this is not the end.
Yeah.
It's the beginning. And the beginning of heading for second base, planning words, third base, loving to speak everywhere. We want you to love to speak seriously, genuinely, really love to speak all the time. It's fun.
Yes.
And if you'll insert stops, giving yourself and the listeners a break, you're going to speak better, not only than you will if you don't do it, but you're going to speak better than most of the people you know in a hurry, just by speaking in shorter increments with longer stops and feeling. I use the word feeling. Same thing as mean it. And you can dial it up and dial it down as much as you want. You can be so much feeling, or you can just make it a bit and show it like here, wherever you want it. Short increments, long stops, 1001, 1002. And say it like you mean it, man. And love to speak all the time. You don't care who or how many are listening to you. Does not matter at all. You welcome it. You can't be surprised in a negative way. Somebody taps you on the shoulder on the street and asks you a question. You don't care. It's no problem. Whoops. That's my phone. They have these phones. Somebody came to our front door. I don't need to go, but that's what happens around here. Oh dear. So, okay, so I think, but look, keeping coming, nothing is changing in what you do in your regimen. Now, so I think we continue, and what do you think? I mean, what do you think you can do that will expedite your reaching third base, second and third, no planning, and which you're already partially doing, and then loving to speak, which means the fear, you're basically snuffing out the fear.
Yes.
And you gotta believe, you really gotta believe in yourself to do that. You really gotta want to speak under pressure. You gotta welcome it. You gotta embrace it. It's your new language. All these years you stuttered, washed away into a dim memory. And you begin to speak as good as you look. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's a good deal, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So look, I gotta go
No problem.
to the doctors. So I'll see you at Sam.
Yes.
And why don't we say, I'll see you next week, and you bring a draft of something that you can email me at our next session, and we'll talk about it a little bit. But we're not taking our foot off the gas pedal until you love to speak everywhere, all the time, and you begin to be noticed, not only not as a stutterer, but as perhaps the best speaker in your group. Oh yeah. We're not going to settle for anything less, because when you become the best you can be, you will be the best in your group. You will be. What a change, huh?
Of course, huge
Who,
difference.
who has the last laugh here on this problem? You do.
Mhm.
And it's a lifetime solution. You're not going back ever.
No, no.
You're going to get better and better and better. And if you have children, you're going to read aloud to them, and you're going to teach them how to read before they ever go to school. You're going to have a bond like this with them.
Yes.
It's fun, IBROSS. It's fun. So you have a great day.
And
And
you?
okay, is there anything you want to say in parting? Oh, okay, he's gone. Anything you want to say in parting?
I just wanted to say I was on a practice session hour ago, and Sean was also part of that practice session, and we were taking turns to talk for 2-3 minutes each. And Sean was speaking, and and he spoke extremely fluent, and I was
Who
really
was
really
it?
shocked.
Who was it? What's his first name?
Sean from Israel,
Okay, good.
and his speech was really really clear, and I I was really really shocked. It was really clear.
Isn't that
Just to
great?
say, yeah, amazing.
Really made progress. Well, listen,
Yeah.
I have to go.
Okay, thank you, coach.
Okay, mate.
Okay, take care.